Yo, hey folks, how's it going? It's Kevin, Big K Horror, and I'm going to discuss a pretty obscure British slasher film from 1987. It is called Goodnight God Bless. Alright. This movie is very peculiar. I mean, I guess it's vanquished in obscurity kind of for a reason. I don't know. I like it, but it's not a movie I can recommend. I mean, if I recommend this to people and I tell them, oh, this is a good movie, you know, they're going to watch it and be like, Kevin, what the fuck, man? I thought you were my friend. You know, so I don't know. And that's not to say it's a bad movie, but it's... Alright, I'm going to go into this. Okay, I'm going to break it up. Okay, the plot's pretty much about this killer priest that you only see certain portions of in his murders. He does a lot of murders with involving like a big, huge butcher knife, man. I'm talking about this is huge. Man, I thought he would be like Pyramid Head or something from Silent Hill. Anyway, but it's a huge butcher knife, and he walks around stroking his rosary beads. And then when he finds his victim he flashes the beads at them while they watch. Okay, yeah. And then, he naturally, stabs him to death or, whatnot. In this case, this beginning of this movie begins with like a fucking bang. And I'm about to say why. Now, I'm going to say that some people might be turned off by it for this reason. And sure enough, I mean, it was kind of like very, just like kind of not upsetting to see, but it was very like, whoa. Kind of taken aback by it, but I kind of appreciate. It was different, okay, for a slasher movie opening. But it opens up with this priest, this dude, walking by the gate of a schoolyard, and then like there's kids playing everywhere, catching ball, doing whatever with balls, and then like And then he walks up into the schoolyard, and there's a teacher out there, with him, and she sees the priest. She's like, oh, and then he like comes up and like pulls his rosary beads out, and then like pulls the knife out and just starts stabbing her in the stomach over and over. And all the kids are looking on in horror, and then she falls to the ground. And he pulls out a gun out of his pocket and just starts firing away at the kids. And I'm all like, what the fuck? I was like, I've not ever seen a slasher movie like that, really. So that was a peculiar beginning. But, it keeps going, and it's not too, I mean, it's in bad taste, I guess you could say, but it's not graphic. I mean, it's very edited very uniquely to kind of convey what's going on, if that makes sense. Alright, so, and then, that scene pretty much ends when the one last soul girl survivor is like hiding behind two trash can bins, and he comes up with the gun and just like points it like right at her head and pulls the trigger, and then it just clicks, and it cuts to the next scene involving the two investigators who are also the main characters showing up to investigate. Well, there's the two investigators investigating who this guy is, who this killer priest guy is, because once this begins, he starts going around throughout the streets of London at night or day and murdering women, and mainly women, some men, but mainly women, and stabbing them and whatnot, and using his rosary beads. But pretty much, like, yeah, so, okay, about the school thing. Okay, yes, the school massacre, the girl that he points the gun at right before it ends, that is the daughter of, okay, her mother meets the investigators that afternoon, naturally, to talk. And, when the investigators show up to that little girl's house to talk to her, because she's the last sole survivor, she had a gun pulled up on her face, but it didn't go off because there's no more bullets. Anyway, so she's the last sole survivor to describe who this guy was. They find, and like they arrive, and the mom is like, oh, y'all be very careful. She's very distraught. She's traumatized. And then it cuts to a shot of her in the backyard, like throwing a ball up and down, like, yay! And I'm just like, that's funny. Anyway, so she didn't seem too traumatized. But anyway, so she, naturally, and this is kind of where the movie kind of goes, okay, because the beginning was such an awesome beginning, but it's kind of hard to follow that beginning up with the rest of a cool movie, right? Because the rest of it begins kind of plotting, but I kind of like the characters in it, so it wasn't too bad. And there are murders liberally laced throughout the whole entire thing, but they're not gory, but they are there. So if you're like into this for gore, then you will be solely disappointed. But if you're in for some murder, death, kill, but kind of like, of the variety of like Halloween or He Knows You're Alone, Final Exam, that kind of thing, then you can get through. I mean, this is pretty much even more worse than that. But anyway, more graphic than that. But anyway, I mean, like the plotting begins when in the plot, the investigator and the mother of this like traumatized girl start dating, and it goes on to montages of them going out to like a theme, not a theme park, but just going on like little doing things together, like a little music montage and stuff, and and I'm just kind of like, all right, that's fine, that's great, that's nice, but I want to get back to the action, and the action does pick back up, and it gets all kind of police procedural with remember this is 1987, and like so it's kind of, and it's British, so it's not like police procedural in the stereotypical sense, but these cops, they get all hardcore about trying to track this dude down, you know what I'm saying? And you never really find out who this guy is or what, all you know is all you know is that he's just evil and he's a priest. But I will say this, like, every scene he's in is very atmospheric. He's a fucking creepy killer. The music in this movie, the composed music is awesome. Like, it's very atmospheric, very cool. It really drives the entire movie. And when it does finally show the priest toward the end, it is kind of creepy. But I will say this movie has a very abrupt, what the fuck head scratching ending that is kind of like, it defies like, what did I just see? What happened? That I have to give it props, because it just risked doing something so silly and out of nowhere that I was just like, what? I mean, I think I caught what was going on, but I'm not sure. But I'll have to repeat viewing it. But like I said, but pretty much, the priest goes around murdering people, but he's on the trail of trying to find that girl who's the sole survivor and her mother to kill them. So of course, that's why the hard-boiled detectives get involved and get real, serious about it, because not mess with his woman. But anyhow, so this movie was really cool because the London setting was a very nice, different touch than the American setting we're usually used to. It had some really great lighting. Now this movie is, I don't know what was filmed, if it was like filmed on, if it was like shot on video, or I don't know, but like SVHS or whatever. But no, it had an interesting fluidity to it. The movement of the kind of quality of film or camera this was gave it some fluidity, and the colors are very Argento-esque in some sense, the blues and blacks and reds popping and stuff like that, and the blues especially. I'm a sucker for some midnight blues in a horror movie, and this one, man, this had a lot of them. Anyway, so I dug it. I liked it, and I think it's solely worth owning just for the cover, the VHS cover alone. Like, that's just awesome. It's like the Magnum Entertainment box. But anyway, this movie, just like I said, begins with a bang and ends with another bang, but of a different sort. And it's just like, so I have mad props for respect. So, but I know this director, John Ayres, I think I pronounce his last name, John Ayres. He went on to do this Jack the Ripper movie called Ripper in 2001. That was set on a college campus, and which starred the girl who starred in the Final Destination Part 2. Anyway. So that's my take on it. It's going to be hard to recommend to people. It is, because once you see it, you're going to probably be like, what did I just watch? Because in some capacities, it doesn't really truly deliver. It doesn't truly deliver a cohesive thing, but the parts that are summed up into it are still kind of cool or checking out, if that makes any bit of sense. I don't know. That's the only way I can put it. But I liked it. It's weird, but I can't say that, oh yeah, go running out and get this. If you can find a copy or whatnot, get it. But it's pretty obscure, and there's a reason. But I like it. I like this. It's cool. And like I said, different beginning, completely weird ending, and a lot of stuff in between. A lot of murder, death, kill, a lot of stabbings, a lot of rosary bead stroking. So cool stuff, and a lot of big hair too. A lot of big 80s hair. So if you're into all that kind of stuff, I recommend. Okay, peace out. Bye.